Hello developers, in our today's video we're going to upgrade one of our very e-commerce website. As you see, that's the entire build which we have been created a long time ago, and recently we have been upgraded it to React 19, but today in our videos we're gonna upgrade it to the latest Next.js features, and also we're gonna upgrade for the design pattern. You know that Tailwind CSS version 4 is adapted, we're gonna do that one. And beside that, because of the Next.js versioning problem here, we also gonna set the middleware and then upgrade it to just let it that no vulnerabilities will occur in this particular application. And to start that, as you see, we have a front end for this application which is built by Next.js, and then we have a backend pattern where we having an admin dashboard using the Sanity CMS. So this entire collaboration is just happening, and if you want to build it from the scratch, feel free to watch this video. It's like around 10 hours, and I think 36 minutes videos is long, and here you can find each and every single treatment by which you can create it from the scratch and deploy it. So all the details is right here. You can feel free to go and watch that video. I'm gonna just hook up the link in the description so you can just grab it. And beside that, if you want to go to get the premium code, like with the dataset with all the details and others, you can feel free to go in the reactvideo.com, then go back to the projects right here, and you'll see here that is the very e-commerce app. You can just go to view that like the GitHub link and also the live link, and you can just watch the each video. And if you want to purchase the premium code, it will be available here, and from here you can directly purchase. But no worries, if you don't want to purchase, then feel free to watch this video and stay tuned with me, because this is the branch which is actually hosting all of this entire thing. So the latest code, what it gonna happen if we see that there is a two particular branch here. One is the main, one is the upgrade. So the latest code, whatever the changes, just the main is the create, like main is happen to be holding the previous. I'm gonna keep it like that, but whatever the upgrade things we're gonna do in this video, we'll just push that in that particular branch. So how you can start with that? You just need to clone this video, like clone this repo here, then open it within a Visual Studio Code editor. So I'm not gonna go with that scenario because it's pretty simple and you know that. And after that, you just take a terminal and then npm I, you need to go with the legacy path dependency. As you know, we're going to upgrade the scenario, so right now there is some proportion which is not yet right to be done. Now how you can configure that? As you see, there is a readme file here, so that's I mentioned each and everything. I'm gonna just change that particular readme, so whenever you're gonna having the readme, it will be explain each and everything to you. And now as you see the .env file here, so there is the Versal URL, the next public base URL, Sanity project ID, dataset, API version, Sanity API token, a rate token, Clerk publishable key, Clerk secret key, Stripe secret key, Stripe webhook secret. So this entire segment you need to fill up. If you watch my previous video, you know how to configure that, but if you doesn't have an idea, please, I recommend you to watch the video to build from the scratch. Then you're gonna have a very better idea and very good versioning, so that you can go with that. So what I'm gonna do right now to just go and capture my previous project variables to start with that. So now you can see I just fill up all of my environment variable. I just passed that my next public base URL of my local host right now, and parsing that public project ID and the dataset here, and also the value for the API. Then this token you need require for there, you can just find it here. You go over in your project, then from the API you can just grab that and create those like you just add the create token. You need to create one viewer and one for editor. So again, I'm saying if you're having a not understanding any of this, feel free to go the previous video, and then you can just understand and get each and everything run by so far. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just skip this one. I'm gonna close all of others, so to start building the phase right now. So as you see right now, what will happen to be here, we have the projects, right? We can view the projects. It's going so far working perfectly smooth. So first thing first, we are going to do one more scenario which can be really handy. Like as you see, we will create one route over here. We have the client route, right? So by so far, we're gonna create another route called admin route. So admin. Now in that admin route, what we're gonna do, as you see the studio, we're gonna drag that studio in our admin route so that it will be applicable, that our admin route, it will be like it will not be mandatorily be like anyone without the login and proper access, they cannot view that one, right? So even though, also what we're gonna do, I'm gonna create another page over here. So let's just say it will be a page.tsx and rafce, that should be, let's say, admin page. So we're gonna see how we can protect that route also by so far. So now we have one like /admin/base. So let's go over here, we're gonna check this one here, admin/base. So as you see, okay, that's a root reasoning problem here. We will fix that very soon. So as you see, we have some kind of layout here, but this layout basically is happened to be in the layout of the client layout, where we are passing all of the segment and all of other scenario. But in our admin layout, we are not having any of that root basic structure or root layout. So what we can do, we can simply just we can just cut that layout which we are having in the studio, then we can pass that in our admin. I think that will resolve the issue. If it's not resolving, then we're gonna create our own layout. Okay, it's working, but we're having a slight error over here because remember, we moved through our studio, so we need to configure that route. I think it will be one layer deeper here. I think after that we'll be able to grab that one. And whenever you are going to upgrade any application, you need to be very tight to understand that you're gonna have so many issues, lots of problem, it will be there. You need to keep motivated that you can do it. And most of the time you're gonna find that error. As you see, the editor error, this is a mixed conception. Sometimes I'm not having, but I heard lots of people you're having that, so I was just going through the base, and right now I see I'm having that too. So if I upgrade, you see it's just happened to be I cannot access those route wherever I am hosting that my studio. So what we're gonna do, you see this error is everywhere. So first of all, I'm gonna close my terminal over here. Then we're gonna do some kind of suitable things by which we can really go out of the scenario. First of all, I'm gonna remove my package.log.json file. So this one is not mandatory right now. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open my package, and over here I'm gonna upgrade several packages, right? First one is that I'm gonna upgrade npm I should be, let's say, Sanity at latest. So as you see, this one is now a 3, so it's gonna upgrade to upper layer right now, so whatever the upper version here. And then I'm gonna upgrade my next Sanity. I'm gonna upgrade also directly my Next.js also. So I'm gonna just run that command simultaneously to upgrade all of the packages. And after that, you can see now we have a 15.0.3 image URL is just 1, and icons, all of the things like the client here. So I'm gonna just quickly upgrade that, so also I can just showcase whatever the discrepancy here and what we upgrade and what is not upgraded at all. And while you're upgrading, you are gonna have some kind of problem here. You see, we need to go with that legacy path dependency error here, otherwise it will not work. So feel free to just go and copy that and pop up here whenever you are going to grab the latest version. Just follow up that, and it will be once the fully upgrade is done, that time I think we can resolve the issue of that legacy path dependency or for the force. So right now I upgrade all the packages, and if you just closely look at that, it's just basically the Sanity packages which we upgrade. Now what we did, we upgrade the Sanity icons, which is going to be previously 3.4.0, now the latest one 3.5.7. I'm making that video is 4th of April, so till that is going to be fine with that. And Sanity image URL getting 1.1.0, and then we're grabbing also next Sanity, which is 9.8.35, and basically that 3 packages now we upgrade. And as you see, whatever whatever the error is happening from the Sanity previously, if you see, when you're going to access the base, we cannot access. And then also whenever we're going to access the studio, previously there was a slight error, we're unable to access that. But right now you see the loading spinner is going on, and no worries about that, go default workspace. And that's happened to be because we didn't redirect yet. And how we can configure that, I'm gonna close all of that. And from here you see one of that next Sanity CLI, then another is next.config.ts. Here we need to add our route admin/studio. So that's the route we need to configure it so that it will know that within this route, now previously I had only a studio route. Right now I need to access that admin route to check and get the data to access my route. And of course you cannot be able to log in on that particular route, so you need to create an application, then go on. So as you see, my product is right here and everything is going to be fine. So I think basically the entire segment is done for the Sanity issues. Now as you see, I'm just logged in from my previous account portion. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sign out and then I'm gonna try to access my admin, right? So admin base. Now as you see, I can access the admin base, but that should not work in that way, because without logged in, like I cannot access any of the admin portion. So you can also pass so many other scenario. It's not about only the logged in, but you can also convert it in a very other properties. So what we're gonna do is here, we're gonna I'm gonna just go with a simple procedure, but you know, you can do furthermore. There is a lot of credential to go with that. So now as you see, we have that Clerk middleware, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just modify that Clerk middleware to just go and let it work in a way. So as you see, we are passing that as a Clerk middleware, going through an asynchronous way. We're getting the auth and a request, and from that auth object we are awaiting for the auth. And if the request.next URL path name is start with admin, as you see, whenever the path name is start with admin and the object.user ID is not available, now right now we're just bypassing that to grab it for the sign in URL, is passing that directly as the home. As you know, we're using the Clerk, so it doesn't have any stimulate sign in or a login page, but you can create and just pass that. Like you have a login page, you can just pass that to the login, redirect it, and it will work perfectly fine. And then we are parsing the next response.next. But as you see, the config, which is the matcher from that Clerk middleware, is right here. So now if we hit enter right now, as you see, we are at home. We cannot access any of that admin route. Even though our studio, I'm logged in with the credential, I can't. So that's the one which we create right now. Oops, it will be not that. It should be starting with admin base. No. But what if we just make the login? If we just go through the login portion, I think I'll be able to do the purpose, and it will just do the slight work, the one which you're looking forward. So as you see right now, if I'm logged in, so I have my account. So let's go try to access the base. I can access. Even the studio also I will be able to access. So that's the way you can configure any middleware. Now this is just a simple logic I used. You can also access the local storage where you can just manipulate your token and others. So everything can be opt here whenever and however you are, feel free to do it. So now this is the two. One, we adopt the error which is happened to be coming up from that Next.js from the Sanity, and another one which is happened to be the middleware issue which we catch up. Now one more portion which we need to resolve is that Tailwind CSS. Now if you go back to the package here, you can see we are using the Tailwind CSS, I think, yeah, 3.4.1, and also we are going to having one tailwind.config.ts file. So this is the one which we are using, and as you see, the color combination and color contrast how we have been using by so far. So now what we can do right now, as you see, we need to upgrade that one. And how we can do that? It's pretty simple. If you go in your terminal, I recommend you to close that one, otherwise you're gonna have some of the errors. So npx, I'm gonna just write that one, Tailwind CSS/upgrade. I don't want to make it by force right now. I want to see if it's happen to be working like that or not. So let's just try to run that. Okay, you see, without force, because we have some portion where the legacy dependency or force is happening. But now I'm gonna go with y, enter. Let's see if it's working perfectly or not. And what it's gonna do if it's working perfectly, as you see in the app, I have one globals.css, right? It gonna, like, from the tailwind config.ts file, it gonna import everything from there to here. You see, it's not working, so means I need to go by force, because there is some of that portion still not working perfectly, some dependency maybe not working at all. And you see also there need to be happen to be I think one more package need to be adopted here, which is the Tailwind CSS.postCSS, which we're gonna implement later on, which gonna be coming as a dev dependency. Okay, what's the error? Upstream. Okay, there's a lot of upstream is going on. Okay, no worries. Okay, but our application is done. Yeah, there is a certain error. We're gonna fix that, but you see the variant proportion is working perfectly fine. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want that custom variant dark, because I'm not gonna using the dark theme. So there is some plugin here also. I'm gonna make that npmi just to be put everything if it's just adding something there. But right now, as you see, one more things which we need to install here. I'm gonna go first npmi, then I'm gonna go to install that Tailwind CSS.post CSS, which we need to grab it. You see in the post CSS is used, so we just need to go and use as a like a dev dependency here. So -d and then legacy path dependency, then it will just add it here. And you see right now Tailwind CSS still is 3.4.1 because it cannot upgrade that one. There is some kind of error which it was facing, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna manually replicate. So right now you can go with the Tailwind CSS at latest, but also you can just pass that one right here. It will also work fine. So if you just go here and go just npmi and then pass that, it will also install these instances, the latest one. So there is a certain scenario by which you can follow. It's not just a single scenario, but there's a multiple instances by which you can create the scenario. So I'm gonna go with npm run dev. Let's see what's if it's working or not. If we get the error, that's normal. If we don't get the error also, I think that would be normal by so far right now. So this is the time where we're upgrading our as you see the config file which is right there, it was nothing. The next config, as I think the tailwind config.ts file is no more, it's gone. So now there we need to configure our class name and others. And there is one problem you're gonna face, that you see that color light dash orange, but we wrote it before. If you just see in previous perfectly aligned here, you see that it's light orange, is passing as camel case, but here it's not coming, it's coming as a snake case. So we're gonna find a way to how we can configure it. First we're gonna run our application. You see still is compiling, and yeah, it's working. But you see the class name, the classes is not working perfectly, and it's because we need to rename those. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce two separate class name here. So let's say I'm gonna just pass that one. So it will be, say, light orange should be that one, light blue, and then don't use that you cannot use that string value here, so quotation. You need to just directly paste that because it's a CSS file, so you need to be very careful on that. You see, now I got the color, and also now here is the black. It's because some of the certain period it will not work in that way. So what I'm gonna go with my product cards, and here I'm gonna change the ratio so that it will work. I believe so. So what I'm gonna do here, instead of passing that, you see now I have a background color, right? So I'm gonna pass that my modified background color, which can really work in a very good way. So this is the one which is happen to be getting the opacity value and others. I'm gonna just pass that my BJ very black 30%. You see it's working perfectly fine. If I just go with like say 80%, it will also work perfectly with the 80%. So right now I think 30% is a good shot. So now as you see, okay, this entire segment looks cool and working perfectly fine. That is really an amazing build by so far. So now as you see, entire things is perfectly aligned and working in a very good way, in a fashionable way, where I'm just sorting out my middleware problem. We have been sorting out our, now one more thing still, the Next.js problem. We didn't upgrade it yet. So what we're gonna do, let's go in our package.json file, and now as you see, we have our next 15.0.3, and we can now find the vulnerabilities. If we just go and like add an additional request header here, it's gonna be available to do that, but you can just go and check that one. So I'm gonna do npm, I think npm install should be, let's say next at latest. So it's gonna install the Next.js latest version. It's the 15.0.3. Let's see whatever the latest is coming by now. Oops, I need to go with the legacy path dependency, otherwise it will not work. Legacy path dependency, and this legacy path dependency is basically happening because of that UI which we're happening to be using the button and car. There is that CVA and whatever we are using, some of the class name here. This is the class variance authority and others. Just happen to be grabbing the problem, I believe so. Otherwise it's perfectly fine. So now it's taking to be take the update. Okay, we got to upgrade it. It's as a 15.2.4, the latest by so far. And as you see, when you did that, we are grabbing that internal server error. And basically what you need to do, you need to just close that and then npm run deb. And whenever you are upgrading, especially the Next.js, the next version, then you better close the terminal. That's the best option you can follow through. Otherwise, you're gonna just find yourself in an error. So now we're gonna just make that localhost. Okay, no, not the studio, but I want to go in localhost 3000, and let's see. Yeah, it's okay, it's compiling the studio because previously we click on that. So now let's see what is running on that. And by the way, if you were facing any error or problem after cloning that, you see, you don't need to worry about that because all the code is right here. You just need to go and fill up that environment variable. That's it. That's nothing else. And I'm gonna just update that readme file after publishing that, so you're gonna have a very good and quick understanding how easily you can go with that. So no worries about that. Just buckle up, and we're gonna do right and best things for it. So the updated readme file, it will be something like that. If you go in, open the preview here, so it's mentioning the very e-commerce website, how you can start, and after that how you can go through there. But one thing I didn't mention, that how you need to change that branch here, you can change by yourself. So now as you see, okay, everything working perfectly fine. I think if we go also for our admin route, let's see the test route which we have as a base route, and let's see if we can access that and if it's working or not. Yeah, it's working. So I think everything working perfectly fine. So now is the time to let's pull each and every single segment and how we can go with that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just grab each and everything here. So from the table to pop over, except my env file, which I don't want to pass that my credential right here. So what I'm gonna do, that's let's say very upgraded. Okay, so that's my commit, and what I will be done from there, I'm gonna also pass that one. I'm gonna push that to particular instances, so you're gonna have it right now. So let's see if it's a big bunch of data. So I think by so far it's happened to be right there. And you see, if you see, just click on that, you can particularly view all of the changes right here, whatever the changes we have been done and how we make that things possibly adaptable by so far. So you see everything is available for you, and the link, it will be in the description. Feel free to go and understand it, use it, and all the necessary documents is right here. You can feel free to go and understand how easily it can be applicable. So all the best with that project. I think you can now simply finish and combine it by so far with yourself. You know, so many people are just confused and complaining why this is not working, why the studio making some of the bad scenario here. So then I just want to say you feel free to go on that. And as you see, you need to like all of the images is this is the images. You can just pass the product image from there whenever you are uploading your image. But if you are going through to pass that the upper one, if you purchase that, there will be a seed file here, and also that will be mentioned how you can just go and grab the seed file. You see, it's a very simple way and it's straightforward. If you are using, you just directly just make that zip file here, and automatically it will upgrade your project by so far. So all the best to finish and compiling to upgrade your project. And if you didn't done yet, just fall back to the previous video, and all the best. And I think you can do it, and I'm gonna see you in another video. And any problem you're facing, let me know in the comments, and please do like and subscribe my channel. All the best. I'm gonna see you in another one.